Our Swiss manor house has been changing for 300 years. During this renovation project, it feels like it's been slowly revealing its secrets to us. We have uncovered some incredible clues and surprises. So today, we are piecing those clues together to imagine what this house might have looked like back in the 1720s when it was first built. Now here's what's interesting. Good work, Sherlock. Yes! It is honestly hard to wrap your head around what things would have been like here in the 1700s. There was no electricity, no running water or plumbing, no central heating, no cars for getting around. Every room would have been lit with candles and firelight. The heat would have come from wood-burning fires and Kachelovens. Water had to be carried in manually, and this would have been the era of chamber pots, no toilets, and people had to get around on foot or by horseback or in carriages. And yet somehow, after all those centuries and changes, parts of this house are still standing the way they originally were. We have been fascinated to see the story of this house unfold over time. And so we decided to understand the history and the context a little bit better. We headed to a local museum to see if we could find some additional clues and understand what things were really like. For starters, even the museum building itself is quite familiar. The architecture and the stone construction, it looks remarkably similar to our house, including sections that appear to have been expanded over time. And inside, there were all these fascinating glimpses into daily life in the 1700s. Paintings showing how people looked and dressed, household objects, candles and early lighting, wax seals for letters, decorative fabrics and furnishings. It really helped us start to imagine the world that our house originally existed in. One of the most fascinating things was seeing maps and surveys of the area from the early 1700s. There's one map from 1728 that appears to show a structure in the exact location of our house. You can see what I strongly believe is the Husli and the large house here, and there are several other buildings that are still standing in the area. That map is one of the strongest clues we've found so far about the age and origins of our property. Speaking of clues, as we started opening things up during the renovation of the house, more clues began to reveal themselves to us, and we started piecing them together. One thing we're sure of is that this section of the house is original. It's basically a rectangle that was for sure part of the original structure. You can see it on the floor plans all the way from the wine cellar, up through the basement, the main floor, and the upstairs as well. This side of the rectangle is now an interior wall, but we found some really interesting clues that tell us that that probably wasn't always the case. Starting in the basement, along this wall here, there are windows. They're a bit small, and they would have looked out from what at the time would have been the stables where the horses were kept. Now, upstairs, along that exact same wall, we found some additional evidence of exterior windows. The old original walls, of which this is one, where it seems to be just rocks, like random shapes. There's these borders, so we're pretty sure this was, we know this was an exterior wall, and this looks like it was a window. So it ends kind of here, would have gone across the bottom there. And so we would have had a window right here on the second floor of the outside of the original house, if that makes sense.
You hear the difference?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's just the threshold, because this is where the, original
the
stone
structural
exterior was.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, because this is original wall here. This has got to be the back of this, yeah. Okay, so this is just the arch, this brick,
The brick. Okay.
the red brick.
So they made a hole in the wall and then they
They made a hole
built
in
up
the
a
wall.
thing and created the arch.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Our next clue is right here. This was the wall to the master bathroom, and in one of the renovations, they bricked it up. There was a little archway that they built in it. But when we knocked that part down, this looks to me like one of the limestone borders of what would have been an exterior window. It ends right about here. And so this wall here would have been an exterior wall, and from the inside of the house on this side to potentially the outside of the house on this side.
Got it.
The next cool clue we uncovered in this main rectangular historic part of the house has to do with the Kachelofen. These tiled oven structures are how heating was done during this period. You do see them around in many historic buildings in the area, and we are lucky enough to have two of the larger sort of rectangular Kachelofen. One is downstairs between these two rooms here. Now upstairs, the Kachelofen is currently found here. It was between the fireplace room and the living room, which if you've watched my previous videos, you know we're reconstructing this space a little bit. And we found some clues that tell us that this is not where this Kachelofen originally was. Okay, so let's situate ourselves. This is like this little wonky hallway, which is actually sort of like under the
Directly under what will be the reduit.
The reduit.
It was the master bedroom closet.
walk-in closet thing is
Yeah.
directly above us up here.
Yeah. So these bedrooms, this one here and here, are directly underneath the master bedroom.
Yes.
Now, this is the interesting part. This is the chimney stack,
Yes, which goes all the way up through.
all the way up through the roof, right? And here, we've got the Kachelofen, which is on both sides.
Yeah.
Right? And if you look, we've got this, which is where you make the fire for the Kachelofen.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you set the fire for the Kachelofen. And this is your
Access.
Yeah.
So this side, and then if we come over here,
Yeah. Again,
this side.
here's the chimney stack, the other side of the Kachelofen, and then a smaller
Yes.
and beveled on the edges set of built-ins. That's actually connected to the other one.
Right, through,
Yeah.
all the way through.
All the way through.
Yeah.
Assuming that the windows are at about the same level, you know, from the edge of the window piece here to here.
Okay.
So now we're up in the master bedroom. Same distance roughly here to here. There's the old wall. You can see the edge of the whatever. And
So this could have been a built-in.
you've got molding around a built-in on both sides.
Yeah.
Bigger here than on this side. And the chimney stack right there.
Yes.
Now, and if you look, well, we can measure it at some point, but here, this is what they bricked in from the chimney here.
Yes.
This is where you used to be able to set the fire, right, for the Kachelofen, and here's your little access to the chimney. It's the exact same
it's so
thing.
true. It's so true.
Yeah. So the Kachelofen used to be there.
Good work, Sherlock.
Yes! We did it! We finally did it.
You think they moved the Kachelofen to this side?
So this,
Moved
I think,
it over.
got moved. It has been moved. I don't think it was meant to be here from the beginning.
Right, so at this point, it's just decorative,
It's just decorative.
but it's lovely. Now, on the main floor, we found a few more clues to show us what this space might have originally looked like. So the question we're discussing is, if the original structure was just the rectangle, it would mean that the stairs where they currently are were not in the original house. And so how did they get up and down? Clue is that this looks like the end of an original wall. So it's possible that there was something opening, there was an opening here that could have provided space to go up and down. Now, the other interesting thing that we've been curious about is in this space. So I'm standing in the quad. The walls, these walls were definitely not original. So this whole quad structure was not how it was. But this floor is rock solid. But on this side, there's like this line here is different. And so this might also have been open and provided a place to have stairs that went either down to the basement or upstairs. Interesting. At the exposed sort of wall here that's in the middle, again, it's an internal wall, so they just built all the walls with these stones. But down here, it's like black, which is interesting because it makes you wonder if there was like a fireplace or something on that side. So here's a question: is
Or
where
if
would
the
have
house
been
was on fire at some
the
point.
kitchen? Well, you wonder if there was a house fire.
Yeah.
Because the kitchens in the 1700s would have been fire. I mean, you cook with fire.
It would probably be on this level, don't you think?
I think the kitchen would be on this level.
Yeah, maybe even here. But yeah, good question.
This could have been the kitchen, maybe.
Maybe.
By piecing all of these clues together, it's fairly clear that this rectangular portion was the original core of the house, built sometime in the 1720s. But after that, things get a little bit complicated. We found some clues outside of that rectangle that we just weren't quite sure what to do with, starting with the outside of the house. This little section here that includes the bathroom windows and this very old angled stone wall certainly look to have been original, or if not, certainly extremely old.
starting in the basement, where the steps going up are made of limestone underneath that horrible green paint. And there's even an archway underneath where the current front door is that looks to be an original entrance to the house.
And then look at this. So the stairs could have been here, but there was like this little archway maybe. So you would come in from dropping off your carriage in the garage and the carriage in the stables. You would come through here under this little archway. And then up the stairs. Here?
There's clues in the large upstairs bathroom and even in the downstairs small bathroom that tell us maybe parts of this area were here originally as well.
Now here's what's interesting. This also looks like an exterior piece, like an edge piece, and it has even the little notch in it for a door to sit in here. This one goes all the way from the floor, to doorway height.
Well, I mean, look at it. Look at the frame.
It does look like a door.
It's perfectly framed. And here is the recess for the door, right? And there's things in here which indicate to me that there was a hinge there,
Oh, look at that.
right?
Upstairs, it had to have been an interior door, but
Right.
still made out of stone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if there was a door here, what was it for and where did it go? This is what it looks like underneath the original wall, and this might very well have been the corner of the original 17th century or 1700s structure, because then this was added on later. So this angle here is mirrored by the original roof over there. But actually this section, that section, it's all symmetrical with that side of the house. And so my question is, when was this added? Because this even has slats on it, which means there might possibly, probably been roof tiles on here at one point.
Yeah, I totally agree. And what's even more is that if you look in here,
Ha!
there are bits of old tile. Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, I got roof tiles up here. And you can see this one was quite worn here, right? These aren't modern, these are, each groove is unique and uneven, right?
Not machine.
Yeah, I don't think it's machine made. It's not a mold or something.
Wow.
This is a door.
Oh, I love that key. Can you get the key out?
Maybe.
Oh, wow.
The truth is, we may never know what this house exactly looked like in the 1720s or how each space evolved over the centuries. But what I love is that the clues are still here. This house has clearly lived many lives already, and now we get to be part of its next chapter. We get to help shape the future of this manor house, and honestly, that feels really special. So if you want to follow along with this project, check out the channel, please subscribe, and don't miss what's coming up next on our manor house project.